Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 3 of building a Mario Galaxy roller coaster right here in Planet Coaster. As you can see, we're starting off with some finishing touches to the Mushroom Kingdom section. Feels like I'm always adding finishing touches here, to be honest, but there's always more you can add and you can always just keep building, but I think I'm gonna just stop for now, because I worry that adding too much to the park will have a bad impact on the performance. I don't want the ride to get laggy at all. I think once I have the coaster practically finished, and if it still performed smoothly, that's when I'll go back and add extra details throughout the ride. Because I've seen some parks where they add loads of stuff, like loads of building pieces, scenery and effects, and then it just gets really choppy, and the main reason we're building this is for the ride. So if we ride the ride and it's really laggy, then that's just not gonna work. I've been obsessed recently with watching lots of Planet Coaster videos on YouTube, getting some inspiration. I mean, some people are so creative and really think outside the box, so I need to try and be a bit more like that too. I watched someone build a shop entirely out of like sci-fi crates, and these aren't specifically designed to be used as walls or roofs, but it worked so well. I need to remember that any building piece in the game is pretty much up for grabs. You don't always have to use a piece exactly how it was intended to be used. And once again, this is about 2.5 hours of building, just condensed and edited and sped up. I'm not sure what we're at right now. I think we're at about 10 hours into this build, maybe more. I'll have to go back and actually calculate how much time I've spent building this, and we're not even at the main section yet, so I'm looking forward to building on the space section. I have some cool ideas in mind. I just hope that what I can see in my head I'm able to actually build in the game. So in this section I'm working on some lighting and landscaping with the terrain tool, again ensuring that the terrain will hide what's coming up. I found these really cool Mario bats on the workshop and added them too, and then I've added some lightning, dark clouds and Bowser with some of his minions. When the coaster passes this section, I have set these up as triggered effects, so the light will flash and the lightning will strike. I've also timed things to happen in time with the music that will be played over the ride once you're on it, and it is very satisfying. I made this like little cave section which passes 2 videos, one being the airship heading towards the Mushroom Kingdom and Peach's castle, and the other of a UFO cutting the ground around the castle. Once we're out of this cave, we'll see a 3rd video of an anchor dropping to the ground from one of those airships, and that's when we get into the exciting part of this video. So the main focus today is the destroyed Mushroom Kingdom and the castle being pulled up from the ground by Bowser. I basically took buildings that I used before and modified them to make them look more ruined, particularly by rotating the pieces to appear as though they are falling off. I also added rocks, rubble and debris to emphasize the destruction, and I also laid some toads over the ground as well as their houses which have toppled over. I used the destroyed castle walls and I took the Star Festival lights and placed broken versions of these on the floor. With regards to special effects, I placed multiple spark effects, smoke, fire and drifting embers to give a really gloomy and devastating atmosphere. I also placed some chain lights that you see earlier on in the ride, but this time they are obviously damaged and some are flickering. When the coaster reaches a certain point, as we are focusing on the castle being pulled into the sky, the airships either side will fire, and I used a flare firework to achieve this. I then added at least 40 different effects such as falling rubble, dust, smoke and explosives that will emit from the ground just beneath the castle to emphasize it being ripped out from the ground beneath it. And once again, this is also timed along to the epic and dramatic Mario Galaxy music. I mean, this area isn't 100% finished, but I'd like to add more in the future. I have the bulk of it fleshed out, but if I have time in the end and if the park is still performing well, I'd like to go back and flesh it out. Once we see this section of the ride, we'll go through a cave where we'll speed up, see some cool stuff, and then we'll go to Kamek, shooting us down towards a planet, and we'll finally get into the most exciting part of the ride when we're in space. It's been a long time coming. And to think I actually wanted to start the ride by us being launched into space from the very beginning, but I'm actually really glad that I didn't do that and that I decided to change my mind and have this entirely new beginning section to help tell the story a bit better. I mean, being invited to the Mushroom Kingdom by Peach, seeing the festivities, seeing Bowser come and attack, seeing the destruction, and then meeting Rosalina and being launched into space, I think makes a lot more sense than just launching into space from the very beginning. And at this point, I'll leave you all with the rest of the time lapse. There will be some cool shots at the end. Please like, comment and subscribe to see me continue with this. It means so much and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and I'll see you all in the next one.